In the next 47 minutes, constituents of the Ayawaso West Wogon constituency will cast their votes to elect a replacement for the late Member of Parliament for the area, Emmanuel Chimantinge Jakum. The late MP died in November 2018 after a short ailment. The Electoral Commission says all is set for the by-election. So far, 4 candidates from the New Patriotic Party, the National Democratic Congress, the Progressive People's Party, and the Liberal Party of Ghana are contesting the election. Last week, the NDC raised concerns about an alleged bloated register the Electoral Commission wanted to use or is using for the by-election. But the Electoral Commission, in a response, says all these are untrue. Well, let's also look at the excerpt of all that, and subsequently also Kwesi Parker Wilson has been speaking with the Greater Accra Regional Director of the Electoral Commission, who says all is set for today's by-election. At least we know that some 137 polling centers and some 88,710 voters are expected to participate in the exercise.
So far, everything is on course. We have secured all the election materials. We have finished training the polling staff. So we expect that everything will run smoothly, and we hope to start everything on time at exactly 7 a.m. at all the 137 polling stations that we are going to use. So that will be it.
I know that some of the political parties were raising concerns about the voters register. Has that come to attention? How have you been able to resolve that, that issue?
Yes, when it comes to issue of voters register, that one is handled by our personnel at the head office. So they handled everything, and I'm sure that they have addressed all the issues that they have raised. And so far, what we have said, we haven't identified anything wrong with the registered voters that we have received.
You not identified anything wrong?
Yes. So
you said, the register is bloated, over 1,000 names.
And not at all. I can show you the list right now for you to have a look at it. There's nothing of that sort. There's nothing of that sort. No bloating anywhere. No,
and you've explained that to the NDC?
And I'm saying that when I met them at the RAPAC meeting, at my level, I explained everything to them, and they understood it.
So I'm sure our viewers would be interested to know the kind of explanation you give to the NDC, because apparently it appears they're not satisfied with the current state of the voters register.
At the RAPAC meeting, it wasn't any issue that they specifically raised there, but we told them the number of voters we should expect at every polling station, and then we give them the list of the various polling stations that we are going to use. Yes, so nobody raised an issue specifically that a specific polling station has been bloated. We didn't have anything of that sort at the meeting.
So in all, how many voters are we expecting in tomorrow's exercise?
We are expecting 88,710 voters and 10 across the 137 polling stations.
And finally, I know you'll be using BVDs and all of that. Are the machines in good shape?
Yes. Enough preparation has been made. There are those in the boxes, and then we're going to assign 2 BVDs per center. So in case the one being used is 40, there's a backup. And even aside that, we also have a backup at the district offices. So I don't think we have any issue with the BVDs.
And following that, so we know that the Electoral Commission has issued a formal statement in reaction to concerns being raised by the NDC. And in that press release, it says that the attention of the Commission has been drawn to a statement issued by the NDC alleging bloating of the register for the Ayawaso West Wogon constituency. And this is ahead of the by-election today. In the said release, the NDC, according to the statement, indicates that its attempt to access the proxy list, the transfer list, and the special voters list have yielded no results. And the Electoral Commission, this is untrue. According to the statement, the NDC requested a copy of the said list late on Friday, the 25th of January 2019, when the activities of the Commission had wound up. It is responsible for operations and could have reached him without much effort. Letters of such nature go through a process of recording at the registry before they are brought to the attention of the addressees, and subsequently the Electoral Commission says the other concerns of the NDC are unfounded.
Let's go to Parliament now. Speaker of Parliament Michael Quay has described as unfortunate claims linking the killing of investigator Ahmed Hussein Swale to journalism. He says members of Parliament must wait for the outcome of the police investigations into the incident before drawing conclusions. Kumbungu MP Ras Mubarak read a statement on the floor of the House expressing concern about the death. A caution by the former Deputy Interior Minister James Agalga that the death could affect Ghana's press freedom ranking was disputed by the Speaker. Information Minister Kojo Oppong Nkrumah expressed concern linking the death to journalism could affect Ghana's international reputation.
His death shook the world, and many optimists like me who thought that we had perhaps seen the end of such brazen assaults on journalists. Little did all of us know that one of our own would be killed on our own soil in the person of Ahmed Hussein Swale, and he was shot in the streets of Accra. Mr. Speaker, the unthinkable manner in which the likes of Ahmed Hussein Swale, Jamal Khashoggi were killed should jade all of us from our sleep to do everything within our power, not just to smoke out the perpetrators, but to ensure that society never witnesses such human cruelty on innocent men and women.
The murder of Ahmed Swale has placed Ghana on the international spotlight so far as our human rights record is concerned. In fact, I dare say that our human rights record on the international plane has suffered a sizable debt. Mr. Speaker, in this House, when we all made contributions on the particular issue of the murder of Jamal Khashoggi, Mr. Speaker, I never thought in the wildest of my dreams that Ghana was soon to be next on the international plane for discussion with regards to...
Honorable.
Oh, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable, wait. Honorable, you are comparing the case of a person, known enemy of a regime, situations that came out of murder in a particular place, to which an embassy and so on and so forth. Now, that can easily show the cause of a person's death and murder. But I am advising you that the fact that a lawyer has been killed doesn't mean that the killing has to do with his legal profession. The fact that a doctor has been killed doesn't mean he has been killed because he's a doctor. So please wait until the police... The mere fact that a journalist has been killed doesn't mean the motivating factor is his journalism. What are you talking about? If somebody is having a problem over a woman and he happens to be a journalist, and that's why I say you must wait for the police to investigate before you come to such unfortunate conclusions. But honorable members, nobody will want to debate in this House that because a journalist has been killed, it means somebody killed him because of journalism. We will know that at the end of the investigation. Please, you are being presumptuous, honorable.
Something that the Republic of Ghana holds in high esteem. Indeed, journalists in this country have the opportunity to go about their work with a high level of respect and freedom. Journalists have the opportunity to apply their trade in the highest levels of safety in this country as compared to many other jurisdictions. What has happened is a very unfortunate incident, which ought not to be associated with the culture of media practice in Ghana. And that is why it's important that the security agencies who are responsible for conducting a thorough investigation are given space and opportunity to do their investigation and come to a conclusion so that the perpetrators of this act can be held accountable. Now, Mr. Speaker, as we comment on these matters, we also should be cautious so that we do not create an impression that journalists and journalism is an endangered enterprise in this country, because if we do, it will in the long run affect our nation's image on the global stage, the kind of investments we get here in Ghana, the kind of perception that people hold of our country. So while in one breath we encourage the security agencies to quicken their steps on it, let us also be measured in our commentary.
Now, our Parliament has completed 99% of work on the Right to Information Bill. The House is assuring it will be passed in the next few days following completion of or having gone through the consideration stage. The bill has been in and out of Parliament for over a decade. Parliament correspondent Joseph Opoku-Gakpo has been looking at how far the bill has travelled.
Parliament has completed 99.9% of the work on the Right to Information Bill, and it's actually ready for approval. Well, the bill has 91 clauses. They are done amending and considering all of it. But one controversial issue came up which has stalled possible approval. There was a proposed amendment from the MP for Suhum, Frederick Operiansa, who wants a situation where even after the President assents the bill that Parliament will pass, it will take up to a year before its full implementation can be seen.
And this suggests that time is indeed required for institutions to prepare adequately to meet the requests that will come from the public in respect of granting them access to information. And that is why I did not say that after the House has passed this bill and the President has assented to it, the entire bill should stand suspended for 12 months. It is only in respect of putting in requests so that that 12 months, as even stipulated in Section 3, will be granted to institutions to be able to prepare adequately to meet this request.
The minority is kicking against this particular proposed amendment. They think it's an indication that the majority side of the House and also government in general is not committed to implementing the RTI bill. They want the implementation to commence immediately after it's passed into law.
Why do we think that the executive is not ready? Unless the executive is communicating with the majority members of this House, which we don't know.
To what exactly? To stall the approval for the
bill? I think that's the intention of the bill. Because look, the intention of the amendment. Because why? Why will you? We are not Britain. Okay, we are operating a written constitution. The information has been generated.
But the President has repeatedly said he's committed to getting this passed speedily. The Vice President has made the point. So why would they want to connive with the majority to introduce this amendment and stall the implementation of the bill, you say?
Well, why would they want to do that?
Why would they? Because they repeatedly...
If I refuse, deny, or in any way make it impossible for the public to access information immediately upon the passage of the bill into law, then I somehow maintain the status quo for one whole year.
But the chairman of...
Now, before we go, the Pantang Hospital here in Accra has begun discharging new mothers 6 hours after delivery, as dusty roads around the facility have increased fears of respiratory infections in babies born there. The hospital says international best practice demands that a healthy baby stays for at least 24 hours. But doctors at the hospital are worried that long periods of exposure to dust could lead to infections in the new babies. The following report, Nancy Emefajradosi, tells the story of how new mothers and their babies are coping with the situation.
The dust from the rutted and almost impassable road leading to one of Ghana's biggest mental health facilities presents a daily nightmare here. Everywhere in this hospital has been battered by dust. The floors, computers, and even baby cots have been covered in dust.
All our bedsheets are brown now. They are white, but because of the dust, we don't lay them unless we have a client, then we lay them. The whole place is dusty. We, the staff here, we always report there. It's either you are having chest pain, it's either you are having cold or the respiratory tract infection. If you go to OPD right now, it's stopping.
According to doctors, healthy full-term babies can usually go home from the hospital sometime between 24 and 48 hours after birth. But here at Pantine, nurses are forced to discharge the babies within the first 6 hours after delivery.
If you have a baby here, a 1-day-old baby, a newborn here, and all this dust, it will cause them respiratory infections. We normally discharge them after 6 hours if everything is okay.
Doris Darko had a rough ride to this facility when her water broke this morning.
I really suffered. It wasn't an easy ride to the hospital this morning. I couldn't even open my mouth to take in air because the entire road is so dusty.
This is the road at the Pantine Hospital, and guess what? All this dust is going to one place, very, very close to the maternity block here at the Pantine Hospital, where Madame Doris is sleeping with her newly born baby that was born just about 5 to 6 hours ago. She delivered at 8:30 a.m. and already she's getting ready to leave the facility with her newborn baby Abena. This really disturbs Doris.
I was even complaining because they want to discharge me this early. What if I get home and realize my child is not fully fit? I would have to travel through this dust again.
There have been efforts in the past to get the roads fixed, but according to Director for the Pantine Hospital, Dr. Frank Benin, the contractor working on the project has not been on the site for a few months now.
I must say that urban roads have been good to us in the past. Our internal road network wasn't meant to be part of the original work that is ongoing. We discussed with them, and they were flexible enough to add our internal road networks to it. Since we saw that the work has stopped, we've tried reaching them to find out, what is going on. And they keep telling us it will be done this year. So why it hasn't been done, we haven't been told, but at least we continue to get assurance that something will be done about it. The contractor who started it, yes, we've engaged them. They used to be around here. They had their vehicles at the gate, and they have the chippings at the entrance as well. And we engaged them, and they keep telling us they are still engaging government, and then the work will be done. But as to the reason why the works have stopped, I don't know.
For as long as the roads at Pantine Hospital remains dusty and untarred, healthcare delivery at the facility will continue to take a big hit. Nancy Emefa Jadosi, JoyNews.
That's a bad road. We're talking about roads. We know that all roads are leading to the Ayawaso West Wogon constituency, and we have the by-election there, Kujo.
Indeed, yes. And we'll be bringing you all the details as Roland blends into the community seamlessly for the rest of the morning. But of course, we need to bring you the newspaper headlines in just a moment.